In my book, Hold Me Tight, I write about Frank and Sylvie and how they dealt brilliantly with his erectile problems because they end up dealing with them together. At first, Frank's shame and fear of failure in bed was very much part of his withdrawal in the relationship in general. Loss of erection cued Frank's shame and fear, his hiding. This upset Sylvie, made her hurt and angry. Her anger and Frank's defensiveness cued further loss of erection. Sylvie felt unloved, on and on and on. In bed, the tense and careful music blocked out arousal and engagement. In stage 1 of EFT, this couple's sexual dance, their repetitive negative cycle in the bedroom, was integrated into the therapist's outline of their general pattern of disconnection, which they called it thin ice. Hard to dance on thin ice. One wrong step. The dance of attachment protest by Sylvie, she was always angry, asking for his attention, and stonewalling by Frank was framed as the enemy that left them both afraid and alone. The therapist also included some sexual education elements, normalizing the softening and hardening of the penis in a lovemaking session, and expanding sexuality to include much more than penetration. These partners began to become less triggered and to help each other out of this demon dialogue and be able to become more open, to talk to each other, to share their emotions, to share affectionate touch, and move in a different way into sexual interactions. As Frank and Sylvie began to create an emotional and sexual secure base together, they moved into stage 2 of EFT, restructuring their bond. They were able to own their softer emotions, move into a positive dance. A focus on sexuality here resulted in Frank being able to express his fear of rejection in bed and tell Sylvie what he needed from her. Sharing fears and the need for reassurance that they were indeed both desirable and desired, even at times when sex did not work, made their relationship a safe haven where they could explore, play, and learn in bed and out of bed. They could then deal with the issue of Charlie, which was Frank's name for his penis, taking a nap as an attuned team. Problems and differences were now simply that could be solved together, not panic buttons, not walking out onto thin ice. This couple described a scenario, which I had to put in the book, I couldn't resist it, a scenario that would have triggered catastrophic disconnection before therapy, where they started a lovemaking date with Sylvie making a joke about Frank's weight and Frank withdrawing. She was then able to repair that, and as Frank said, she hugged me back into feeling okay. A series of interruptions then set them up for failure. Their adolescent daughter came home early and knocked on their bedroom door. The candle they lit fell over. The curtain went on fire. Sometimes people tell you things in therapy and you're like, you don't need reality TV if you're a therapist. So needless to say, with all this, Charlie became very discouraged and retreated a number of times. But then they have safe haven, secure base. So they simply laugh, they go downstairs, they drink cocoa, and then they were able to change the music, dash upstairs, and do their version of Wailing Monkey Clasping Tree. James Taylor, I love James Taylor. James Taylor reminds us, thin, thin, the moment is thin, ever so narrow the now. If we know where to focus, if we can lean into critical moments of disconnection that happen right here and right now and guide clients into new physical, sensuous, and emotional bonding connection, then eroticism can flower. It is fascinating to watch this kind of couple, how their bodies change in the process of therapy, Just like birds in ritual mating dances, they begin to open their bodies to each other, they mirror each other's moves, they start to naturally create this physical synchrony. This is just part of successful bonding and mating. It is not enough to just make partners a little less conflictual and hope that the sex gets better. It's not enough to teach sexual techniques and ignore the context in which they happen. We have to recast a couple's bond and then use this safety to help them ignite exploration and erotic connection and reawake passion.